You know what I think it is, bro, man? Doing all this talking, I think that people just don't truly understand the gravity of fatherhood and the things we go through that is we never talk about. Trying to be a good dad. Just trying to be a good dad, good man. And it's
my gosh.
It's pressure. Like we all handle pressure differently.
Yeah.
But it's pressure.
But we all handle the same pressure.
It's the same pressure.
You know, and some people got different valves and different outlets to release.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? But imagine like, okay, you're a dad, you're a husband, and you're trying to be a good one of both, right? And it's not innate. Your character is innate, you know, or your character is something that it's innate, but it's something you can also chisel and acquire and work at. But you're trying to be a good dad, good husband. You may not feel fulfilled in a lot of spaces, you know? But it's like coming up with money, staying on your square emotionally with her, with kids, whatever. Staying faithful. Like a man makes a conscious choice day to day to do right by his relationship. It's not just as, I don't see nobody, I'm not attracted to anybody. It's like, no, it's a conscious choice. And I don't know why that is a debated idea. It's like, nah, you making that choice and just no one wants to hear that. But we all understand that, you know, and it's not like you on some Marcus Graham boomerang, everybody coming at you kind of thing. But it's there. You seeing everything is there. But you having to like stay disciplined financially, romantically, all these different things as a dad, even when you don't feel fulfilled at all or appreciated or valued.
And since when did everybody get so concerned about government spending?
But you know, you can feed people what to think.
Oh man.
Or not even think, because people won't think inherently, but you can feed people. Yep. What they're gonna ruminate on in a very non-conscious way.
I watched a video of an old white man just describe this whole government spending tax cut thing in 5 minutes. And I said, see, now had I known this makes more sense, because all I had was an idea, and then I had to research the idea to try to debunk it. And now what he's saying, because I'm like, man, cutting fed jobs, that's not enough. Like that's not gonna do enough to change the GDP. Plus, the highest paid federal employees, they're keeping their jobs. So how is that? Right. Like my little $25 an hour, that ain't doing nothing. Or cutting.
Yeah, some people who lost their jobs, it was like, man, that man made $38,000 a year.
Or cutting like funding for, you know, programming. That's not enough. That's not. But hey, man, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think people see the bigger play of, you know, because they want to ask, hey, what's the purpose of these vouchers and stuff like that from an education standpoint? It's like, it's not even about like trying to help the rich necessarily. It's not even about the guy Abbott, his wife being on any sort of school board necessarily. That's a part of it. The bigger play is keeping people in their social classes.
Yeah, there it is. You're keeping that working class.
Widen the gap.
Labor class, yeah.
Be like those countries where you born is where you stay. Ain't no coming up. That's the trick. Because if you give people vouchers and they can afford to take their kids to school with the voucher, which they're going to raise the price of tuition, right? Probably to split the difference. But what about those people who can't?
What about there's not one around?
Yeah, it's not a choice. Like it's no longer a choice because I don't have a choice. This is the school I got to go to, and that school ain't got no funding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What is that going to do to the whole program? So it's going to keep you less educated. It's going to give me a reason to not consider you because I know where you live. If you wanted to get rid of DEI, cool. Take gender off the application.
Take race.
Ethnicity off the take race. First of all, race shouldn't even be on there because that's
crazy.
It's made up.
Yeah.
So I could, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's crazy when you think about it. Like, why is my race on this application? And I do wonder when it started being, but it maybe always been since black people were free.
Because the only thing that race was simply only created to separate and to marginalize black people.
Yeah.
But yet it's such a thing now, you know. And you want to say you don't want people who are non-qualified. Well, there's people who are non-qualified of all creeds and colors. So take it off.
Take race off the application.
Take race off. All you gotta do is check, are you over 18? Boom.
Yep. Sex shouldn't be on there either.
Take sex off. Take gender off. Take it all off. Take my address off. All you need to know is what's on my resume. That's it. You don't even know where I live.
Yeah.
You don't even know. You don't need to know what high school I went to. All you need to know is I got this degree.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. If you need to know where it comes from so you can check the transcript, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, take it off. Do away with the legacy entries at Harvard.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's merit based, but we know it's not merit based.
Of course not.
It's give it to a white man.
Yeah.
White men need the jobs back, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing too. Fear of competition.
That's always been the thing.
Fear of
bro.
competition.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because the people who preach all that bootstrap, help yourself, most afraid of competition.
It's always been that. Like the very foundation of racism was this unwarranted fear that somehow black folks is going to take over the world and and overthrow them.
Yeah.
But it's like, first of all, the reason why we're here is not even black people. The reason why America exists is for some overthrow stuff. Like that's been. I don't want to get into us and y'all, but that's been the way of the world, and we didn't have a whole lot of say-so in that. But if people were going to revolt and it was going to be just a whole mutiny, first of all, we don't have enough people. Second of all, we don't have enough systems in place. Third, that would have been tried a long time ago.
A long time ago. I think if this is, I feel like this is why other sides can't understand the mind of black people. We're actually very peaceful.
Very. We taught that.
Very peaceful, very creative, expressive, and resilient. And I don't think in any given situation, black people don't even want retribution. Just leave. They want access to like equitable access to resource.
That's it.
And like you say, infrastructure. And then beyond that, they want what anyone else wants, to live their life. You know what I'm saying? Given the opportunity at large, black people are not going to stand around and have picnics while hanging white people.
No.
As white people have.
No.
You know.
Burn people at the stake. Taking babies out of bellies and feeding them to alligators.
Yeah.
Like just crazy stuff. Like the real story of slavery ain't told as much because it's just repulsive beyond just the idea of slavery, because it was people were putting lynchings on postcards.
They were selling memorabilia. I was looking at I think Lanny Smith posted it earlier today from Actively Black, but I was looking at some photos of like lynching events.
Yeah, it's a whole party.
But Pete, there's the sickness of it. Not just that, there's a man hanging there and people came. I seen one photo, this little young teen couple, white couple, they were on a date.
Yeah.
Holding hands, smiling, they were on a date. Like,
it was like watching a movie.
That sickness, it's evil, it's inhuman.
Cutting people, cutting, men's genitalia while they up there.
Right.
Setting them on fire while they up there.
Selling pieces of them, ears, balls. And so either y'all are not human, or y'all are, clearly you're viewing black people as subhuman or not human at all. You're tricking yourself into that belief system. But it's evil, because what is the driving need to do that? And I think it's fear.
It is fear.
Genetic fear.
That's all
fear
you
of
ever
competition.
Had. Fear, because if I can fear monger, then you won't even try it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, to act like, black people were the originators of the savagery is just wrong. That's just not, it's not even true. But again, sometimes our own people get tricked into that whole idea of, all we do is kill each other. Like, no, people don't drive to other neighborhoods to kill people. It's the whole crab in a bucket. People want to talk about crabs in a bucket, but they don't ever ask the question, well, how do crabs get in the bucket?
How they get?
They're not supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
So of course they're gonna try to fight to survive, because everybody's fighting for their life in here.
Right.
Everybody's gasping for air. I'm not supposed to be in this bucket. How did I even get here? How do I get out of here?
Right.
That's the trick, man. So I don't think people take into account what condition has done to the society, man. It's so woven into the fabric of who we are. We don't even think about it. Like, nah, you're saying a lot of what you say.
And it happened before you had thoughts.
Way before.
Happened long before you had any considerations of this.
And it's a tragedy of our parents, man, because a lot of them have been conditioned in a variety of ways, whether they're from America or other countries, and what they learned about America. Because America don't really know America like that.
Yeah.
We don't know ourselves. First of all, we're a young country. Secondly, we spent so much resources hiding things that you can't even really have a true affinity for, because you don't know the truth. But then when you start uncovering the truth, you're like, well, hold up now. Why wasn't I told this, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Now you forcing us to sing America the Beautiful and all of this kind of stuff, and like pledge allegiance to the flag of America and the flag of Texas. Like, why I gotta pledge allegiance twice?
Right.
Are we not a part of the country? Come on, man. Like, listen. It's a crazy world. I have resigned to the fact that we're gonna have to teach our son things at the house.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting? We talk about the pledges and all that. Like, we view propaganda as only communist. We talk about pre-mid-century communist type concepts, or like Cold War concepts, where it's like Joseph Stalin, big statues in the city, broad shoulders, chiseled jawlines, you know what I'm saying? Chinese military parade. We think of it like that, but we don't really consider, like, it's being fed to you right at home. Why is there a flag over the field at an NFL game? Why is there, you know what I'm saying? Watching NFL games and you getting these U.S. Armed Forces commercials, and like, granted, recruiting is recruiting, and that part I understand, but just the way all of that is like given to you, and in such a way, you have TV ratings for violence, right? And these different things, violence and gore, but they'll show a commercial, guys jumping out of helicopters, jumping off trucks, and boop, 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 boop. They shoot. It's like, Arian had made a great point one day. He said, yeah, they showing that part, but the understanding is, the inference you have to make is there's supposed to be someone on the other side. The assumption is there's someone on the other side of that bullet.
Right.
And so it's like, they help you make light of killing people from other places. Right. So when we look at, like, man, xenophobia is a real problem in this country, it's like, yeah, it's perpetuated by this country as well. It's like, I don't think the entire world is out. Sometimes they're out there fighting for our freedom. I was like, I don't think our freedom is at
risk.
Like talking about it.
Yeah.
Not like talking about it. I think in some ways, there's people who would gladly, poison water supplies, poison food supplies and all that. But the trouble is, that happens more from inside of America,
right?
From the people who provide water and food, than it does from some man who you believe lives in a cave in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I never really. I mean, I this idea that the fighting for injustice over there because it could come over here, like what? I don't think so. I don't even think they're really concerned with us like that.
I think there's some disdain. I think there's people who are going out of their way to kind of plot certain things, but I just don't believe external threats are more prevalent than what's already being allowed to happen from corporations here in America.
Yeah, I mean, but if that's the case, one of the biggest largest government budgets is to the military. Like the budget, I think I read or heard somewhere that the budget is more than the next 9 nations combined or something like that. For what? Like, I mean, our cops, the cops got tanks, and they got. I remember when that dude was having a standoff in Dallas, and I seen like a remote car that had a bomb on. I'm like, wait, hold on now. Y'all got this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So when people were saying defund the police office, they wasn't saying take all the money away and do it yourself. They were just saying, like, let's just make sure these funds are appropriated correctly. Like, what are we actually doing with the funds? Are we having mental checkups for the cops? Are we doing proper background checks to figure out why you want to be a cop, where you come from? Are we making sure that we are allocating the right people to the right places, at least to begin their career? So it's just things can get spun out of control, and I think that we've been conditioned to fight ourselves so much. Like, yeah, slavery did a job, but man, Jim Crow did a number. I'm talking about everlasting. Just people just don't even like other black people.
Oh yeah, black people scared of other black. They're not even scared of other black people. They just like, hey, I need to determine what kind you are. I've been saying this lately. I've been saying this lately, where it's like, I think I was saying it talking with you, where you move in and it be a black dude live next to you, and you looking at him, and he looking at y'all, see each other. Y'all don't even speak. First 3 months of one of y'all living there, and you just trying to determine, like, is he or is he, like, you know what I'm saying? And there's different levels of that. That's nuance, but you trying to determine what kind. And it's crazy because it's not necessarily black people in these neighborhoods that's making it unsafe or uncomfortable for other black people.
Right.
It's the HOA Karen or, you know what I'm saying, other neighbors who are looking at you like you're not supposed to be there and treating you like it. Walking up to your porch, I don't believe you live here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't believe you live here, and I'm afraid. can watch you use the key to your house.
I'm walking from inside the house.
From
I
inside the
came
house.
From inside the house.
And I wonder where that audacity comes from. I know where it comes from.
That's the word that's been on my tongue probably the last 6 or 7 months. Like people are just audacious to just think that you can just do this. How do you feel like you can just do this? But I think one of the biggest privileges that people have that's overlooked by all sides is the ability to be oblivious. Like just walk in a grocery store and see who's aware of their surroundings.
Oh
and who's not.
man, I peep that all the time.
Just spatial awareness.
People with headphones in,
Yeah,
people who
like, why
are
you so close to
walking
me?
and they just stop.
Yeah, why you so close to me?
Yep.
Why you all up
Yep.
on me in the store line?
Yep.
Why you walking in the middle of the aisle?
And that's not malicious.
It's
but
not.
To
It's
your
just-
point,
it's just a
it's
privilege.
awareness.
Yeah.
Right. And it's an assumption of safety. It's and it could just be ignorance on some Mr. Magoo type stuff, but it's like you in a grocery, like I go to HEB on McGregor, that's the black HEB. I'm never gonna be in there with headphones in. I'm gonna be hearing what's going on. You see what I'm saying? You got headphones in, noise cancellation. And one
noise
of these,
cancellation is crazy.
yeah, somebody coming here and letting off shots. And it ain't like it's just no black man shooting the ops. Kind of somebody came in here with a manifesto pre-recorded, body armor on, and they letting off shots, and you got on headphones as you looking for coffee creamer. No.
That's right. That's right. It's a different world, man. Just like even when you go in places, like you go to I love HEB, but you go to some place like Sprouts, their layout is even different. Their shelves are lower, so you know what's going on. You know, it's laid out in a place that you can see what's going on. HEB ain't even like that. You know, and it's just this. Back when I was in education, one of the ladies who, you know, thought she was an ally, which maybe she was, but she was an ally. I think that another one of the ills of society is people want to help you because it satisfies them, like their internal this desire to be a savior, which it may end up in some good results, but it's malicious when it don't go work your way.
When it don't go,
So what happens when you telling your kids, like I used to discourage teachers to teach these, like say, you know, sugar honey baby, like don't treat them kids like that, because not because they don't deserve to be loved on, but because if it's not returned, how do you react? You know, because they may not be able to express sugar honey, I love you teacher, until 10 years down the road, but they hear it every day.
Yep.
If they show up every day, and sometimes they give you a hard time because that's how they told to love. That's how their parents do them. So that's how they. So are you able to decipher that? If you can't decipher that, then just leave it alone. Just be their teacher. You know. But she was saying stuff like, "Well, I grew up. I don't have privilege. I grew up poor too." I said, "Well, the problem is you're equating the black experience to being poor.
To being poor. That's so off top. Now we seeing the foundation you're playing from.
So that's one thing.
I grew up poor too. Are you assuming all black people
I grew up
are poor?
in a trailer park. Like, well, I didn't.
I did not.
So I don't even know if we had trailers, but I wasn't in there. But and then it's like, well, I just don't see color. I said, do you see what you're saying? Like that oblivion is a privilege. I've been knowing I was black my whole life. You know, I was in Germany and knew. Hold on.
And and that brings a point I wanted to make while you were talking about, you know, coddling children and honey, sugar, baby, all that. With our sons, I look at my son, he's 2.5 years old, and he got bright eyes. He's innocent. There's magic in the world still. Things are big and grand and exciting. He's enchanted with the world. Our neighbors above us, they walking hard, stomping. He goes, "Mommy, sound." They boom, boom, boom. They walking hard. He goes, "Dinosaur." You know what I'm saying? They have that innocence. How do we teach them about the world around them? When do we do it, right? And then how do you do it in such a way that I don't want to rob him of that.
Right.
The world would try to take it when they try to take it.
Right.
I want to ensure that he's aware of the world around him and who he is in it. But I don't want to take away his, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
His innocence.
Yeah, no, this is something I thought about deeply, man. I think where dads specifically, where we put, you know, unnecessary pressure on ourselves is we feel like we have to raise a man.
Right.
And that we have to do that. Like I gotta prepare him for the world. It's like, but you don't even know what the world's gonna be like. You know, 16, in your case, let's say your son's 18 and he goes off to college. That's 16 years from now. Think about 16 years ago. 2008, what were you doing? What your cell phone look like?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your car look like? What the music sound like?
Right.
What does your neighborhood look like? You know what I'm saying? Like the world is completely different, and so I think how you can maintain his innocence. It's really just imagination. I think as adults, we project because we're trying to protect them. So we end up projecting our idea of the world onto them. When that's not how they see the world. And we try to make them, prepare them for a struggle that we don't even, it's always coming from worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Because we feel like if we can prepare them for the worst, we can hope for the best. And I think that that's backwards thinking. I think that you allow their imagination to explore as far as it's going to explore.
Yeah.
You research with them perhaps. And then what that does is I think that buys you the equity to when a situation does arise that he's not used to, that he can come to you. But I feel like you overflow his tank with love for the reason that you're talking about, because the world is going to try to ground him. The world is going to try to strip that from him. So if he doesn't have a bank to pull from, then where does he get it from? So if he comes home, and that's also tough love, then that does two things. Number one, it makes his idea of love so skewed that now he don't even know when places are uncomfortable, and so you're actually creating a person that you're trying not to, where he's like, well, this is just how it is. And so instead of saying this is a place where I'm not accepted, this is a place where love isn't present, so I'm gonna get up out of here. He's like, well, this is how love is. Maybe this is what my dad was talking about. You know what I'm saying? So as opposed to saying, hold on, this ain't right. This is not how it's supposed to feel. This is not how it's supposed to look. This is not what appreciation looks like. And so now he's in a bad relationship. Now he's in a job he hates, and now he's wondering. Now he's going into the worst thing that men can deal with, and that's a feelings of inadequacy.
Yeah.
And so I think that ties to this idea of humility. Like our generation was taught, be humble, be humble, be humble, when truthfully most people equate humility to their level of comfort. Like I want my confidence, I need your confidence to match my confidence, or else you're being too cocky.
You're doing too much.
So you need to be humble because this all can be taken away.
Right.
Like, yeah, but it also cannot. So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can also be on forever.
Yeah. And so how do I know that that the idea that I'm coming up with, my belief in myself because of the world, if I think the world is in fact going to try to tear you apart, then I got to make sure that you are a solid foundation. So that anything that they try to rip at can't rip at the foundation.
You gotta give them that.
So just be a kid. Like you gotta raise your child at every level they are, and it'll present its own challenges. Because you can't raise no man anyway. Once you become a man, it's too late. Yeah. Now you just providing guidance. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to keep his imagination alive. Hey, you want to be an astronaut? Yup. My son told me because I want to work 10 jobs. I'm like, well, let's think about this. But see, he feels like I have 10 jobs. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, okay, so tell me the 10 jobs. He starts running down things that you most definitely cannot do at the same time. Like he want to play in the NBA and be an astronaut and be a paleontologist, and then also be an animal zoologist, all the ologists. And it would. Some people may think you got to reel it in, but I don't think so. I think that you explore everything and it'll reel itself in. But you don't never know. I think the biggest detriment to the underserved is not even necessarily the resources, it's the exposure to the resources. Like you don't know what you don't know. And that's what people try to keep away from you. Just if you don't ever know, you won't ever ask me about it. Yeah. So I'm never accountable to giving you exposure to it because you don't even know what to ask me. You don't know the right questions to ask.
And that's the deficit I think our parents played from.
Absolutely.
It's like you raising out of fear because you felt like fear helped you survive, but not recognizing like this isn't necessarily a road, but more of a staircase. So this is where you got to, and based on your experiences, you're supposed to help me get up. You know what I'm saying? Not just continue down the same road or the same route.
It's a relay race. So do you want your kid to carry the baton from a standstill, or do you want to give it to him in the exchange zone with him already hitting top speed? Right. And either way, like you don't have to create hard times. The second leg is just as hard as the first leg.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't no different. So you just what you may think was easy may be very difficult to him.
But if I explore you to critical thinking,
that's the thing, man.
If I expose you to critical thinking and thinking for yourself, you may figure out I don't know what's going on as a parent. And I know for a fact, my parents definitely dealt with that, with just like, I may not have all the answers, or they have, and we all only have a limited life scope. Right. Naturally, because we've only lived our life.
That's right.
And then our parents, they live life with no internet. You can't even look at other stuff.
That's right.
And so, naturally, there's a frustration that comes with, that's why our generation couldn't ask why. Why? Why? Like,
that's right.
Why is the best question ever. It's the best question ever. And so
you got to get to it.
Let's figure it out. But if me as a parent, I don't know the why, and I don't have resources to like figure that out, now I'm offended. Because I can't say I don't know. It's just don't question me.
That's right.
Don't question me. And depending on my level of offense and feelings of inadequacy about that might become a violent situation for you, child.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's self-preservation.
Yeah.
That's all we know is self-preservation. That's what our parents taught us. Is you go in there, you put your head down, don't mess with. That's why they had the same jobs for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years. And then the generation below us took it the other direction. Like they'll quit up for anything. But they look at us, they think that that's just a terrible way to think about it. When it's like really that there's strength in both. You know, but the thing is, you gotta, like you said, you gotta ask the question of why. Why am I here? But even deeper, why am I feeling like I shouldn't be here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And have I done what it takes to not be here?
The self-preservation thing is interesting because once we realize, okay, we're gonna eat every day. We have, we're talking about 90s black middle class, 2000s, 90s, 2000s black middle class. We are gonna eat every day. We do have a home. We can go to the dentist twice a year, and all that kind of stuff. So the self-preservation is what? Now it's just like these social concepts and these trying to avoid these like social mores and faux pas where if you go to someone else's house, you better not ask for nothing to eat.
Yeah.
And if they offer you, don't accept anything. It's like, why? So a lot of this shit was just fueled by embarrassment, this concept of embarrassment.
That's all it is. Just think about what your parents used to tell you. If you embarrass me, I'm gonna embarrass you.
Embarrass you.
Like it's not that I'm trying to embarrass you. I'm 6. So I'm conducting myself as a 6-year-old. Plus, you ain't ever taught me how to act. You just told me what not to do the whole time. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. There's never a reformation to where I don't have to punish you.
And that's also, if I don't ever get it,
man,
like
I'm gonna want it.
The first time you go to a nice hotel, I don't care how old you are, you gonna walk in there and as an adult, like, ooh, this is
nice.
Man, you go to somebody's house and they got nice, like big house, one simple. They couch ain't pushed up to the wall. Couch in the middle of the living room. You like, damn.
Come on, man. Small things.
Okay.
Like so, Lambo, one of the Hudson brothers.
Yeah.
Man, that dude's hilarious. He's right. If you got a nice house, I want a tour.
Yeah. Show me around.
Come on now, I got to see what's going on in here.
See.
You know, if anything, I want to be inspired. So, but it's also like you said, man. We have our generation for sure has this weird gumbo of just emotions because we also push the envelope. You know, we're the hip hop kids, but then we were raised by people who were just not that, and so we're like, I want to do this, but man, I got to keep this. I gotta make sure I got this, or I wanna explore all of my thoughts, but man, I don't, you gotta make sure you hold on to what you got.
That's me going to barber school after getting a bachelor's degree. Don't make any sense. I could have just did this. I was like, nah, my daddy Nigerian, my mom ain't going for that nigga.
Going to school.
Gotta finish school.
Gotta finish school. Cause that's security in some people's minds.
I've never even seen my degree. It exists.
Right.
It's never lived in the same place as me. I think my mama got it. My parents might got it at their house.
It's a wild world we live in, and we just have to be very, very cautious. Are we raising our kids? Or are we trying to get them to be us? And truthfully, most of us don't even know ourselves well enough to try to even tell somebody to be like us. What we're doing is we're trying to present to them our quote-unquote best version. When the best version of you is actually you. And then you can talk about the whole thing. So when I wake up in the morning, or when my son wakes up in the morning, and I got an attitude about something that me and his mama got into, or just something I'm feeling internally, and he says, well, what's wrong? Because you're usually happy in the morning. Now I can have a real conversation with him. But if I fake like everything is all good all the time, how is he ever going to even learn how to deal with the world that we saying that he got to deal with? So that's just the superhero myth, man. Like, we don't have to be. Our kids are going to decide if you're a superhero or not anyway. Yeah. So you don't ever have to pitch yourself in that light.
It's a lot of pressure.
Nah, you gotta be the best version of yourself, man. And just try to figure it out. Just know that you don't have it all. Try to figure it out. Find something that you can link to that makes sense to you, and then use that as a model. Because fatherhood is just relationships. That's all it is. Like, if you and your kid are in a relationship. Yeah. Regardless of how you feel about it, yes, you're the leader, but y'all in a relationship, and that relationship got to last.
And we're establishing trust, reliability,
come on, man.
fondness,
camaraderie, openness,
all that,
camaraderie. Like, I'm not one of your little friends. In fact,
I am. I'm your
we
first
ain't
friend.
friends, but I'm your boy. Like, we boys, man. Come holler at me. Tell me something.
It got to be like, in my opinion, it got to be like that. Or some other worse influence will become that. And then The same parent that's saying I ain't one of your little friends. Actually, of course, because you are actually my first.
Friend.
You're my first bully.
Yeah,
you my first bully. To be honest,
Facts.
You're not my little friend.
Facts.
Clearly,
and
clearly.
But the thing is, if I teach you how to be, if we learn how to be good humans, then you will probably treat your friends in the right way anyway. So I won't even have to make that delineation.
Come on, man.
Plus, yes, we're friendly. We're gonna talk about anything, dog.
That's how damaging the psyche
Yeah.
can be. Now, I'm not saying have to be, but can be of that generation, and then it gets passed down because there's many in our generation that don't think like what we're
Too
thinking.
close to friends.
You know, and well, you're either too close to friends to where it's there's no like a respect or reverence, right?
Right.
But just the idea, I'm not one of your little friends. It's like being friends means disrespect in some way. You see what I'm saying?
That's
like,
what I'm
why
saying.
we can't be friends
Why
and
we
we
can't be
respect
friends?
each, you know?
Why we can't be? Why I can't show you what a male friendship looks like? Like, dog, you're not gonna know
Exactly.
everything about your boy. It is what it is.
Exactly.
You know, you don't need to. What you need. I live by this, dog. If I don't need to know, I don't need to know. Because what I know, I'm responsible for, and I don't want to be responsible for all the depth of
everything.
knowledge. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to know everything all the time. You know, it's already hard enough. You know what I think it is, bro, man. Doing all this talking, I think that people just don't truly understand the gravity of fatherhood and the things we go through that is we never talk about. Trying to be a good dad. Just trying to be a good dad, good man. And it's
My gosh.
It's pressure. Like we all handle pressure differently.
Yeah.
But it's pressure.
But we all handle the same pressure.
It's the same pressure.
You know, and some people got different valves and different outlets to release.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? But imagine like, okay, you're dad, you're a husband, and you're trying to be a good one of both, right? And it's not innate. Your character is innate, you know, or your character is something that it's innate, but it's something you can also chisel and acquire and work at. But you're trying to be a good dad, good husband. You may not feel fulfilled in a lot of spaces, you know? But it's like coming up with money, staying on your square emotionally with her, with kids, whatever. Staying faithful. Like a man makes a conscious choice day to day to do right by his relationship. It's not just as, I don't see nobody, I'm not attracted to anybody. It's like, no, it's a conscious choice. And I don't know why that is a like a debated idea. It's like, nah, you making that choice, and just no one wants to hear that. But we all understand that, you know, and it's not like you on some Marcus Graham boomerang, everybody coming at you kind of thing. But it's there. You seeing everything is there. But you having to like stay disciplined financially, romantically, all these different things as a dad, even when you don't feel fulfilled at all or appreciated or valued.
Right. I believe that the whole idea of manhood is a choice. Like I don't think that we're nurturing by nature, and it's not something that we grow into until we decide that that's what we want to do. And it's just a series of decisions. I think in its simplest definition, manhood is being able to make decisions with the understanding that every decision is going to require more decisions. And living with the decisions that you make. You know what I'm saying? And learning and growing, not on some, I'm the man, I'm going to say whatever I need to say. It's like, okay, this decision led to this. Now this decision needs to make sure that we either go down the same path or that we take a different one. And then you respect your partner. I think a lot of people try to simplify the whole idea of discipline when it's like most people don't even think discipline in the way it's supposed to be thought about. They think of it like punishment, and it's not, man. It's just a series of actions. So if usually punishment happens with the lack of discipline.
It's a series of choices that align with a selected goal.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it. And that requires partnership. And I think people got to respect the fact that, listen, yes, I am choosing to be with you every day. But I also respect the fact that you choose to be with me every day. You got the same options. You know, so we gonna respect each other's wishes and just hang like that. I'm not gonna minimize one thing or the other. You know, just because you're a woman and it's different when a woman cheats, maybe. But how did she even get there? You know what I'm saying? Like I understand that she has a choice too, man. So I'm respect that, dog. I had to say that in the men's group because dudes were just beating their chest, and I'm like, hold on, fellas. Like when your woman says yes to you, that's also her selecting you amongst the crowd. Like you have to respect that, dog, with the very decency of having a conversation with her. And she, you know, women and men don't think alike, generally speaking.
But she is absolutely this picky, selective woman is selecting
and she chose you.
With your inadequacies.
Come on, man.
With your inadequacies, with the packaging that she may not care for, but I'm gonna look past that. Look, you know, and it go both ways. Don't get me wrong. But I do think it take a little more for a woman to be attracted truly to a man than for a man to be attracted to a woman. At least initially. At least initially.
And until recently, men didn't have like these big long lists, man. What you look like? You know what I'm saying? Like we can figure it out from there.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that be blowing me when a man is describing a woman to me that he's talking to, dealing with, man, and the first thing he talk about is, man, she got a good ass job, bro. It's like, why are you concerned with her job? It's great that she's working,
right?
But and she, taking care of herself and all that. But why are you so concerned with the job? I never really understood that, but it always makes me look at the character of the man. We've all had like uncles and different guys like this who just live off women. But and I ain't talking about men who live off women right now, but just man, she got a good ass job. It's like, what do that mean to you? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, because my wife don't work, but I would love if she like picked up something full time, right? But I'm not asking you to go and have no C-suite ambitions,
right?
And you need to go make 100.
Because there's value in being able to,
man.
Like for me, it's really hard for me to look for another job because I get to take my son to school every day.
That's what I'm saying. I had a day. I dropped my son off at daycare. I looked around the classroom. I looked at the teachers he had. They had the third string teachers in there. I wasn't feeling the vibe. Called my wife. Hey, we talk about it. 16 minutes later, he back home. You see what I'm saying? And now, if my wife is on this type A Fortune 500 company, you know what I'm saying? I'm not able to do that. We maybe can afford a nanny type, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not able to do that. So I appreciate her position, But yeah, I don't quite understand. But she got a good ass job.
Yeah, I just don't understand the whole comparison thing to begin with. Like, quite honestly, my wife has always had, a very she's a doctor of physical therapy. So that's always been a thing. Like her not having a good job is not even an option at this point. Yeah. But I never felt when I transitioned out of education was probably the only time that I felt like, okay, I have got to do more.
Yeah.
But she never, even though she may have been feeling that way, I think what drove me was the fact that I wanted to respect that she did what she had to do to put herself in a position that she needed to. So as her husband, I need to make her feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? That if something happened to her physically, I mean, because once she had my son, that really, really opened up my eyes. Like, oh wow, like a C-section is a major. So I'm stupid, man. Like I wasn't thinking, you cutting through ab walls and all this kind of stuff.
For sure.
Whatever.
You'll never be the same.
Yeah, and it took her forever just for the scar to heal, bro. And I'm like, all right, I got to be able to right this ship if things go down, or if she come home from work and something happened with her boss. First of all, I don't take in people's emotions except hers. So if you come home and you had a bad day and you may have tears in your eyes, it takes a lot for me not to want to go squabble. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm still a man. So I have those animalistic tendencies to protect my household. But at the end of the day, you still got to sit back and say, one day the aspiration is for you to go in there and say, you know what? I've had enough. I'm out of here. Let me go do what I want to do. Let me go explore what I want. Because she wasn't originally like ambitious. She was super ambitious. She wasn't entrepreneurial. And I'm like, man, you have such a level of skill sets. You can do whatever you want because you got the work ethic, number one, to figure it out. But we just got to figure out what you want to do. And to hear recently, man, she just been exploring like all these entrepreneurial things, and they're brilliant. But life is life. So you got to be able to make a balance. And so now my only drive is to have a life of harmony. But we're both, I'm not feeling like I got to carry the weight of the family. I don't feel like I got to owe her any sort of retribution. It's more like I want to honor her, hanging with me whenever I was going through this transition, number one, and give her the peace of mind that you don't have to do this. You do this because you want to. Like even being with me. You know what I'm saying? You do this because you want to. So I'm honored that by giving you the opportunity to do exactly what you want to do.
Yeah. I think about, you said harmony. And like, that's the goal. That's the quest. And I was talking to my homegirl about this. And when women, at whatever age, but I can only speak towards right now, the age we're at. And women are fed up with like burnt out situations or no situation at all. And they start speaking on, well, the next one that come along, well, he gonna have to do this and he gonna have to do it. And I had to I ain't check my homegirl. I just had to kind of speak to her about like, well, what you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? And I'm not going to go into the details of that, and not that they're embarrassing or anything like that, but it's just, that's not my major point. My point is, you're so sure about what somebody need to do for you, and it's left so vague what it is that you're going to do for that person. And the point is, y'all both are having an experience. And I think there's, in relationships, I'm only a man, so I speak from a man's
Right.
point of view. But I know as men, it can feel like, damn, does my experience matter to you?
Yeah.
What I'm experiencing in this, like,
where I come from.
do
too.
I get to like things
Yeah.
and like how things are going, or
Yeah.
does it not matter?
Right.
You know?
Even the change, like, man, we evolve. I'm not married to the same woman I was married to in 2017.
Right.
You know, and it's not the same, and it can't be the same.
Right.
And then you have a kid, and now that's another human that's evolving. You just try to make sure you can juggle these plates and hope they don't crash to the floor. No, but you got to respect the evolution and respect that there will be times that you like, man, I don't even know who you are right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you saying to me?
Yep.
But then it's at the end of the day, you chose them, they chose you. And at the end of the day, if they choose to move on, hey man.
Right. What up?
That's a choice they made.
And y'all are still choosing. That's a big one too, though. That idea of ownership. Think emotional and romantic ownerships. Like, you just never own that person.
You don't owe me nothing, man. You owe it. You owe it to the vows you made, to the decision you made. You don't owe it to me.
Yeah.
The only person that gets owed anything is this little person that didn't ask to be here.
Didn't choose to be here.
Yeah, they didn't ask to be here.
Yeah, we had 7 minutes of rumbling around and then the main stage sheets.
7 is pushing it.
7 is pushing it, dog. But here he is. Here she is.
Here he is. 9 months. That's crazy too. That women are pregnant 10 out of 12 months. That's a long time, dog. You know. But that made me respect women. Like, I already had a high level of respect, but dog, you go in the gym and these women be 8 months pregnant. I said, man, men could never.
Get into it.
We'd be at the house. Like, are you? I'm on bed rest.
You know what's crazy? There's this thought of like, well, who's stronger? And just like, I mean, shit.
It depends on how you define the strength, man.
As far as like force, men, sure. As far as endurance, woman.
Well,
It's not. I don't even think it's close.
So I use this analogy, man. When you go in the gym, you want to bench press. It's always gonna be men that are naturally stronger. Get on them leg machines though. Them women gonna keep up.
Pilates.
They're the foundation, dog.
Yeah.
They're gonna hold you up. Now you gonna push the heavy weight. You know, you gonna aesthetically, you're gonna keep everything away from the family. You're gonna be able to have the force, like you said. But man, if you're gonna be with a woman, she got to be able to lift heavy on the legs.
And Pete, this expressing strain, sweating harder, groaning, moaning is not an expression of weakness.
Right.
It's simply an expression of exertion.
That's right.
And so the fact that like maybe women are more able to cry, more allowed to cry and express emotion, express strain, it's like, it's not because they're weaker.
Right.
The indication of the weakness would be quitting.
Yes.
Quitting, checking out, and I'll be honest, I feel like more men are doing that. You know what I'm saying? Not just saying.
Yeah.
I just feel like more men are given the option to walk away. Will.
Yeah.
Given the option,
You gotta do it, man. Like, I don't understand walking away from your own child, bro. I
couldn't.
I don't even care what happens in the situation. That's just life, man. And God willing, y'all are able to make it work out in an amicable way, whatever the case may be. But to just have a kid out in the world and you don't have nothing, man, that I can't even fathom what that feels like.
I'm gonna tell you, and I know this isn't necessarily healthy for me, but to an extent, my happiness comes secondary to my son's and my wife's greater good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
if you had to choose one.
if I had to choose, I'm gonna operate my life in such a way that he has a good outcome, or best chance for a good outcome, and she's well.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If her being well means he can't be well, that's a problem, right? Because he has no choice. He's at the mercy of, you know. It's still, I put my wife first, but at the same time, like, we brought this kid here.
Right.
But yeah, if I can have a happy life and do the things I want to do, while also maintaining their highest good. But if me being who I want to be, being happy, having the romance, the love, the connections, the business, the whatever body that I most desire, if that affects their quality of life, it can't be.
Yeah.
Can't be. Won't pay that. I won't pay that.
It just begs the question that everybody has to have their own life, has to have their own thing. Well, why you got so many things that's away from you know, the nucleus of the house. That's like when people always like, man, I gotta get away. I just need to get away. I'm like, well, why do you live a life that you feel like you gotta get away from so much?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That you gotta have 12 vacations a year. Like, what's going on?
Well,
let's talk about that.
back to our point about discipline, choices, intentionality. Of course, you need to, you know, I think if you could be disciplined for a year, you can create a vacation of a life.
For sure.
You know,
For sure.
discipline for a year, maybe 2, you can create a vacation of a life. You know, to where I like my bathroom. I do a shower head, and I like my bed, and I like the spaces and where I live. And we could go somewhere cool. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have to do that to feel happy.